Hello, welcome back to the Lore Raider. Am I the only one, or are the E.M.M.I simply extremely suspicious in more ways than one? But let's back up. What are the E.M.M.I really? Well, the E.M.M.I, also known as the Extraplanetary Multiform Mobile Identifier, are non-sentient research robots developed by Excellion Star Corporation on behalf of the Galactic Federation military, sometime before the events of Metroid Dread. The E.M.M.I were notably created with supposedly the strongest materials in the galaxy, with the specific and, according to the Dread report, purpose of being DNA extracting machines, which we see supported in the gameplay. With that basic description of what the E.M.M.I are, let's discuss my actual issues with them. I'll be blunt, I believe the E.M.M.I's creation was a product of the scheming of the Ringleaders. The Ringleaders were a corrupt element of the Galactic Federation military we most prominently see in Metroid Other M, as well as in Metroid Fusion, with the BSL station and the battleship both being used for their horrible and very illegal cloning research. Now we know for certain the Ringleaders still exist by Dread. In Metroid Other M, despite the organization being exposed to the light of day and their battleship being destroyed, we know for a fact they still appear in Metroid Fusion, alive and well, with most of their experiments still being on that ship, working very openly with Biologic Space Laboratories Company, aka BSL. All of this despite the fact that the Federation Chairman was supposed to investigate the Ringleaders back in Other M. Given that, and the fact that the wider galaxy has no real knowledge of the events of Metroid Fusion, we can say with relative surety that the Ringleaders still exist by Dread. Okay, so what do the Ringleaders have to do with the E.M.M.I? Well, first of all, their stated purpose and what we see them actually doing doesn't match up. The E.M.M.I are supposedly mere research robots, so why would they be going after the dangerous X-parasites instead of an actual military-grade robots? The Federation should know how dangerous the X are by now. Speaking of, if the E.M.M.I aren't military-grade, then why are they so physically strong that even a full-power gravity suit Samus cannot conventionally harm them? A weaker Varia suit Samus is strong enough to pry open Kraid's jaws with ease, but she's near powerless against the E.M.M.I physically the entire game. What sort of so-called wildlife would you need the E.M.M.I to be so strong and prepared for? If that's not enough, where was Excellion Star Corporation prior to this? It seems very suspect that the E.M.M.I and Excellion appear on the scene only after the galaxy's main robotics company, the Dominion, becomes defunct, and after the Ringleaders' last corporate front, the BSL, lost their space station. After all, if the E.M.M.I had really existed at all before Fusion, the Feds would have just sent the E.M.M.I, not Samus. Whilst I don't have a smoking gun, the evidence is simply too great to ignore the very real potential that the E.M.M.I are really in the pockets of the Ringleaders. But it leaves one important question. Why would the Ringleaders switch to robotics when they have been so keen in bioweapons? Simply put, bioweapons in Metroid have been a historic failure. The Metroids eradicated like 3 billion times. The Space Pirate clones destroyed on both the BSL and the battleship. Attempts to capture the X? They lost the entire crew of the BSL station, and the entire station blew up in the process. And they almost made enemies with the most powerful woman in the galaxy. In short, the Ringleaders learned their lesson and are trying something new. But hey, that's just a theory. My theory. Until next time, be safe, be wise, and please pray for a true peace in space. See ya.